Hey traders, what's up? To watch this video here for Wednesday, May 5th, showing you the SPY gap down, sold off, but put in kind of a bottoming tail right at the 20-day. Let's glance at the intraday. So there you go. You got it just bleeding all morning, sideways all afternoon, and kind of a strong finish. We'll see what happens tomorrow. A couple highlights from the chat room today. CWH, nice breakout. And when we look at it on an intraday, Wayne had this on watch and then called it long through 45 here. Basically a second mouse with the high of day above, which is also right at yesterday's high, 45.02, today's early high 45.05. So you kind of had a two-day high break combined with a whole number inflection point, right? Just above the red to green, high of day above on a stock that I believe had earnings. And just never looked back and closed at the highs. Great call by Wayne. Whole bunch of people in chat thanking him all day long. So I know a lot of people got it. Great call. PRPO. Alavet, I hope I'm saying the name right, actually posted this idea. And if I show you on ones, you can kind of see it better. Just pointed out that there was a clean seller at 7. So this was, let's see, there's a 1 minute candle. So it was 4 minutes in. It was on the morning gap playlist and topped out at 7. We love whole number breaks. Sellers came in. So you kind of also had a sellers fail scenario and a whole number inflection point and clean on the tape with a seller at 7. Great heads up by Alavet. And from there, went not that long. Keep in mind, there's a 1 minute candle. So what, maybe 8 to 10 minutes, it went up a couple bucks before rolling over. Great post there. And then Ramesh, second day in a row, he made a great call. MVIS. Somewhere when it was like this, I was on the mic. And I said over the mic that, you know what, MVIS is so beaten up and it was such a big mover that a high of day break could be worth a shot. But I wasn't even really watching it, and I got the idea because I think it was Ramesh and maybe some others posted it earlier, right? So I gave that idea over the mic, but it was because I saw it earlier. And then to make things better, when it started to curl back up, Ramesh reminded the whole room, hey, MVIS is getting close. So I love the teamwork in there. It's a perfect example of the teamwork in the chat room. And the idea was basically over 1384 right there. There's the early high. Look what happens when it gets through 1384. It just absolutely rips. These are 5 minute candles. So, within 10 minutes, you're up like a couple bucks almost. Maybe actually a couple bucks in 10 minutes. And a nice move after that as well. So there's a few highlights from the day. Anyway, what are we watching for tomorrow? LEDS had a big move today, closing off of its highs, but that volume might catch some attention, so we'll watch for an A+ intraday setup. Tomorrow, MVIS had the gap down and a pretty strong intraday move, closing well off its highs, but definitely, again, after that big move today, we're going to watch that one tomorrow. REED, strong volume day, 89 million shares and a big move on that one, even though it closed off its highs. I actually don't mind when these things close off their highs as long as they close kind of above the middle of their range, because if you think about it, say it opened somewhere around where it closed tomorrow, you still have yesterday's high as a potential catalyst. So they don't need to go out at the high of day, in my opinion. STIM, strong move, strong volume. We're going to watch it tomorrow. CLOV goes on bounce watch. We've got a little bit of a bottoming tail, held and closed above the 20-day. NVAX had it on bounce watch today. It gapped down, and I'll show you 5 minute candles. Remember I talked about it like afternoon high of day breaks. There's the early high. You never got it, right? So just another red day where it closed above its open and goes on bounce watch and kind of now hit some support. So certainly an interesting bounce play for tomorrow. First Solar, FSL are kind of the same thing as NVAX. Was on bounce watch, put in its high early, and then sideways all afternoon. Goes on bounce watch for tomorrow. Bit of a bottoming tail there. TIRX. I've watched this for a few days, and we never got that afternoon high of day break. You can see the 15 minute candles here. Same thing. There's the early high today. Same thing. No afternoon breakout. So since I've watched it for like 3 days in a row, I'm going to make it 4. We're going to watch it again. NVIDIA ended up going out, closing right around the 50-day, but it's been falling for like 4 or 5 days in a row. Definitely goes on bounce watch for tomorrow. That's NVDA. Something I don't think I've had on my watch list in years, Amazon. Actually basically hit the 50-day today. And, after hitting all-time highs here, it's just kind of fell off the map for 3 straight days. I actually took a bounce play in this one today. Show you where. Called it in chat too. On just a 5-minute buy set, I've got long right there. And I don't know what it went up. I'm not used to trading something Amazon's price. It went up, maybe $20 a share before coming back down to the entry, which sounds great, but on Amazon it's not that much, right? Percentage-wise. Anyway, goes on bounce watch for tomorrow. Love to see a somewhat narrow range and an afternoon high of day break, but we'll see. EXAS. You can't see it on this chart, but basically pierced the 200-day today and closed below it. I believe they had earnings after the bell. From what I heard, the earnings didn't sound that bad, and it's been falling for 5 days straight. So I'm going to keep it on bounce watch, even though it had earnings, because it looks like it might even gap down. I hope it does, because then we might have a gap down bounce play set up. XXII, I'm not in love with, but it was a strong stock, and now it's come down and held the 20-day and closed above its open. So that goes on long watch. And then lastly, IBIO, which is not interesting at all, except in after hours, it went out at about $1.70. So potential gap and go tomorrow. I'm going to leave it at that. We'll see everybody in the chat room in the morning. Have a good night.